Have you ever had one of those moments where you feel completely motivated? You tell yourself, this is it. I'm going to be consistent now. You plan your routine. You set your goals. You imagine this new version of you, focused, disciplined, in control. And for a few days, maybe even a week, you show up. But then something happens. You miss one day, then another. And suddenly you're back in the cycle of starting over again. And the question hits you, why can't I just stay consistent? If you've ever felt that, you're not the problem. Because discipline isn't something you either have or don't have. It's something you build. This is episode 12, and today we're talking about how to enter your disciplined girl era and actually stay consistent. Not through extreme routines, not through relying on motivation, but by understanding how consistency really works and how to make it sustainable. By the end of this, you'll stop feeling like you're constantly starting over and start building something that actually lasts. Let's start with the biggest misconception. Most people think discipline comes from motivation. But motivation is unreliable. It comes and goes. Some days you feel driven, some days you don't. And if your progress depends on how you feel, it will always be inconsistent. Author James Clear, in Atomic Habits, explains this clearly. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. In other words, discipline isn't about forcing yourself to do hard things every day. It's about creating systems that make showing up easier. Let me ask you something. When you say you want to be more disciplined, what does that actually look like in your daily life? Waking up earlier, going to the gym, studying, eating better? Now here's the key. Instead of trying to change everything at once, focus on one small habit. Because consistency doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing something repeatedly. For example, instead of saying, I'll work out every day for an hour, start with, I'll move my body for 10 minutes. Instead of, I'll completely change my routine, start with one consistent action. Small wins build momentum. Momentum builds identity. And identity builds discipline. Because here's the real shift. You don't become disciplined by forcing actions. You become disciplined by changing how you see yourself. Instead of saying, I'm trying to be disciplined, you start saying, I'm someone who shows up. Even if it's imperfect, even if it's small, each time you follow through, you reinforce that identity. Now, let me pause for a second. If this is helping you step into a more consistent version of yourself, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel so you can keep building this mindset. And if something here resonates, drop a comment with one word that describes how you're feeling right now. Maybe it's focused, ready, motivated, or starting. Or share how this video helped you shift your mindset, because your comment might be the reminder someone else needs today. Let's keep going. Another reason people struggle with consistency is because they rely on perfect conditions. They think, I'll start when I feel ready. I'll do it when I have more time. I'll be consistent when everything is aligned. But discipline is built in imperfect moments. The days you don't feel like it. The days you're tired. The days you're distracted. That's where consistency is actually formed. Author David Goggins, known for his mindset on discipline, talks about this idea. He says that growth happens when you do things even when you don't feel like it. Not perfectly, just consistently. And here's something that will change everything. Missing one day doesn't break discipline. Quitting does. So if you miss a day, instead of thinking, I failed, think, I'll show up tomorrow. Consistency isn't about never missing. It's about always returning. So, as you step into your disciplined girl era, remember this. You don't need to be extreme. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to do everything. You just need to show up again and again, even in small ways. Because those small actions, they build confidence. They build trust in yourself. They build a version of you that no longer relies on motivation. As we come to the end of this episode, I want you to remember something simple. Discipline isn't something you chase. It's something you practice. And every time you show up, you're already becoming that version of yourself. Thank you for being here. If this helped you, subscribe so you can tune in next time for more conversations about mindset, consistency, and becoming the person you want to be. And if you feel like it, leave a comment with one word that describes how you're feeling right now. Take it one step at a time. Stay consistent, and I'll see you next time.